Welcome on in to our 5th episode of Around the Big Sky, presented by Jimmy John's. I'm Blake Barington.
And I'm Karl Hunt.
Today we'll take a look inside Big Sky volleyball, golf, soccer, and cross country. We'll also be joined by Portland State freshman libero Ellie Snook and Montana State junior runner Collin Buck. First, let's take a look at what's been happening in Big Sky volleyball.
Northern Colorado has risen to the top of the conference after just 2 weeks of Big Sky play, and the Bears remain the only undefeated team in conference play. The Bears knocked off both Weber State and Idaho State last week to take sole possession of the top spot. The Vandals find themselves in the second spot after a week where they went 1-1 against Montana and Montana State. The Vandals also picked up a 3-1 victory this past Tuesday against Eastern Washington. Montana State and Portland State are both tied for third place at 3-1 in the conference standings and join Idaho and Northern Colorado at the top of the table. The Bobcats picked up a pair of wins against Idaho and Eastern Washington, while Portland State took 2 5-set matches against Southern Utah and the preseason favorite Northern Arizona. Sacramento State's Sarah Davis was the Big Sky Offensive Player of the Week. She had a monster week where she averaged 5.9 kills per set as she helped the Hornets top Northern Arizona. Big Sky Defensive Player of the Week honors went to Portland State's Ellie Snook. Snook had back-to-back 30-plus dig matches against Southern Utah and Northern Arizona. Snook also had a career-high 39 digs in the Vikings' win over Southern Utah. Joining us now on the show is Portland State's freshman libero, Ellie Snook. Thanks for joining us, and how are you today, Ellie?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing really good. Last week was a really big week for you, where you recorded 30 or more digs in a match, and you earned Big Sky Defensive Player of the Week honors. What's it been like to come in as a freshman and be so successful right from the start?
It's been really fun, and I'm really excited to keep getting better and keep doing big things.
You're currently the top-ranked freshman in the country in digs per set. What do you feel has made you so successful this season defensively?
I think the technical work we've done in practice, I feel like I'm getting a lot better defensively. And obviously my team, it helps me a lot when I'm playing with them and we're communicating and talking about whose ball is who. So my team's been really helpful too.
Now take us back to last week's 2 matches where you guys played Southern Utah and Northern Arizona. Was there something you saw during those matches that helped lead to your outstanding performance?
Our team just played really well. Probably the best that I've seen us play and come together. So not necessarily anything that made me do better, but they were both fun teams to play against, and our team did especially well together.
So how has the transition been for you to playing volleyball at the college level?
The transition's been pretty good. I was on a really competitive club team before college, so I was kind of used to the pace, but still it definitely got faster when I got to college. So it's so I've been working to keep up with that pace, but so far it's been pretty smooth transition.
Now, your father, James, played basketball for Portland State. Did you always want to follow in his footsteps and be a student athlete?
Yeah, I did always want to be a student athlete, and my mom played volleyball at Pepperdine too for 2 years. So volleyball was always kind of in the family too.
So what made you decide to go to Portland State to continue playing volleyball?
I love that it was close to home, and obviously I love the volleyball program. And then a lot of it had to do with Michael because I've known him for a while, and my whole family trusts him so much, and I love him as a coach.
Now, your bio states that you're planning on majoring in business. Is there any specific plans you have that you want to use that degree for once you graduate?
I do not have any specific plans at the moment, no.
So you guys are off to a really hot start in conference play, and you're tied for third currently, and you have some big matches against Weber State tonight, and then you play Idaho State later this weekend. Looking toward those games and into the future as a team, what's kind of the goal for this team all around?
As of now, I think we just need to keep doing what we're doing, and a couple of the big themes for our team are effort, communication, and our attitude. So I think if we do everything we can to keep controlling those factors, that we'll keep being successful.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, Ellie, and good luck tonight in your match against Weber State.
Thank you so much.
This week, Southern Utah and Northern Arizona will host Montana and Montana State. Weber State and Idaho State host Portland State and Sacramento State. And Northern Colorado hosts Idaho and Eastern Washington. All of those matches can be seen on Pluto TV or watch BigSky.com.
Stay up to date with the Big Sky Conference. Follow us on Facebook by searching Big Sky Conference and at Big Sky Conf on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
When you don't have time to go to lunch, let Jimmy John's deliver lunch to you. With Jimmy John's, we can get a freaky fresh sandwich to you freaky fast. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com.
Now let's take a look at Big Sky Golf. The Northern Colorado men posted a 5th-place finish at Denver's Ron Moore Intercollegiate last week, followed by a 6th-place outing for Weber State and 8th-place finish for Idaho. Northern Colorado competed in 2 tournaments on the week, finishing 8th at Colorado's Mark Simpson Invite, while Southern Utah came in 9th. Binghamton tied for 7th at its own Matthews Auto Collegiate Invitational. UNC's Jack Castiglia captured Big Sky Men's Golfer of the Week honors. Castiglia tied for 1st at the Ron Moore Intercollegiate with a 9 under par 204. He also tied for 11th at the Mark Simpson Invite with a 7 under 209. Idaho competes in the Oregon State Invitational beginning Monday, while Sacramento State, Southern Utah, and Weber State are in action at Cal State Northridge Bill Colum Invitational. For the women, Sacramento State competed in 2 tournaments last week, finishing 8th at the Princess Anne Invitational in Virginia before a 4th-place finish at the Adine Alonfelt Invitational in Washington. Northern Arizona came in 4th at the New Mexico State Aggie Invitational, while Southern Utah tied for 7th. Sacramento State's Nishta Madan and Southern Utah's Plume Yangwan were named Big Sky Co-Golfers of the Week. Madan shot a 2-over 212 at the Princess Anne Invitational for 11th. She also won the title at the Adine Alonfelt Invitational with an even 144 after the final round was canceled. Yangwan posted a 2-over par 218 at the Aggie Invitational for a 2nd straight weekly honor. Eastern Washington, Montana, and Weber State are in action Monday and Tuesday at Seattle's Pat Lesser Harbottle Invitational.
When we come back, we'll take a look at Big Sky soccer and cross country and talk with Montana State junior Collin Buck.
Need a hotel for work or just a night away? With over 50 hotels open and more on the way, we want to be your home away from home. My Place Hotels is proud to be the official hotel of the Big Sky Conference.
Welcome back to Around the Big Sky. Blake, what's been going on in Big Sky soccer?
Montana and Portland State took over the top spot in the Big Sky soccer standings last weekend as both teams sit with 9 points. Montana started league play 3-0-0 for the first time since 2014, while Portland State is 3-1 in conference play. The Grizz took down Weber State and Idaho State at home last weekend, while Portland State defeated Southern Utah and Northern Arizona in home matches for the Vikings. Northern Colorado also went undefeated with home wins over Idaho State and Weber State to move to 2-0-2 in the Big Sky, sitting with 8 points heading into the week. Sacramento State sits in 4th in the standings at 1-0-3. The Hornets played Northern Arizona to a draw at home last weekend before earning their first conference win over Southern Utah. Eastern Washington rounded out the wins on the week with a victory over Idaho. The Eagles currently sit with 4 points in league play alongside Northern Arizona and Weber State. Sacramento State's Camila Fonseca and Northern Colorado's Maddie Barco were named the Big Sky Conference Players of the Week. Fonseca scored goals in both of the matches for the Hornets last week to earn the offensive nod, while Barco was part of a defensive unit that allowed just 1 goal and nearly 190 minutes of action. In action this week, Idaho State and Weber State welcome in Eastern Washington and Idaho. Southern Utah and Northern Arizona play host to Northern Colorado and Montana, while Portland State hosts Sacramento State in each team's lone match of the week. The Big Sky Soccer Championship is November 6th through the 10th in Greeley, Colorado at Northern Colorado's Jackson Stadium. Top 6 teams in the standings at the end of the regular season will qualify for the conference tournament.
So with it less than a month away, how is the field shaping up?
So, yeah, we have Montana and Portland State tied for first right now. Montana seems to be kind of in the driver's seat, undefeated right now. Northern Colorado is doing pretty well. Kind of towards the bottom, it's you got Sacramento State riding a 12-match unbeaten streak, which is tied for the 3rd longest in conference history. So they've been playing really well. Right after that, it's a few teams battling for those final couple spots.
Last year's regular season champion, Weber State, currently sits in 7th, kind of as the first one out. Is there any way they can work themselves into the tournament?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, last week they played Montana and Northern Colorado, two of the top teams in the conference. So I think with their schedule, the schedule ahead of them, I think they're in good shape to move up a little bit and compete for one of those top 6 spots as well.
The Big Sky Conference airs all of its live-streamed sporting events on Pluto TV for free, including up to 700 football, men's and women's basketball, volleyball, and selected soccer, softball, and track and field events. Watch online at www.pluto.tv or download the app.
Moving over to Big Sky Cross Country, the league was represented in the regional rankings by 7 men's teams and 5 women's teams in the Mountain and West Region polls this week. Northern Arizona continued to lead the conference in the women's regional rankings, coming in at number 6, followed by Southern Utah in 7th. The Lumberjacks cracked the nation's top 30 for the 3rd straight week at 27th. Weber State junior Abby Lawrence collected Big Sky Female Athlete of the Week honors with a 5K time of 16 minutes and 55 seconds. The Wildcats finished 16th in a competitive field of 30 teams, including 11 nationally ranked programs last week. Weber State finished just 2 points shy of Iowa State, who is currently 16th in the national poll. On the men's side, Northern Arizona continued to lead the region and nation for the 26th consecutive week. Weber State jumped Southern Utah in the men's mountain regional poll as the Wildcats jumped to 6th after beating 2 nationally ranked programs last week in Colorado and Alabama. Southern Utah received 1 vote in the national poll. Montana State junior Collin captured Big Sky Male Athlete of the Week honors after timing an 8K time of 23 minutes and 37 seconds at Lehigh's Paul Short Run to finish 7th in a field of 392 runners. Buck set a new PR, and his time was the fastest for the Bobcats in the last 4 seasons. Collin now joins us on the show. Collin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
It's good to hear. So what attracted you to running cross country?
I just kind of got asked to do it by it was actually my high school coach was my gym teacher my freshman year, and, I had never really played any other sports. It just kind of seemed like something interesting to do,
So you stay pretty busy during the school year running cross country, indoor track, and outdoor track. How do you balance your schoolwork?
I just kind of focus on scheduling my day so that I have large portions, around lunchtime works for me for getting, large study sessions in and stuff like that. I have to focus a lot on determining what time I'm really efficient on getting schoolwork done and getting stuff like study sessions in. And for me, it doesn't work well at night, so I just kind of make sure that I have, good chunks of time throughout the day where I can stay really, really focused. And that's typically how I, kind of stay on track with everything I'm doing.
So I know you don't get a ton of free time being a college athlete, but what do you like to do when you're not running or in school?
I do, I guess, the typical things, we play video games, hang out, all that type of stuff. I used to, before running and such, I did a lot of skiing and snowboarding. Coming from Montana, obviously, that's pretty big. Anything outdoors, camping and such over the summer, that type of stuff, I guess.
Awesome. So how did you end up at Montana State?
I just typically just because of cost, it's kind of hard to go outside of Montana when you're from Montana, and it seemed like a place that I definitely wanted to stay in anyways. Out of the 2 places that I kind of thought were going, and I just liked the mountain area. I liked a lot of the trail systems around here and such, so I figured I'd just come here for that purpose. I really liked outdoorsy stuff, and out of most of the places in Montana, Bozeman is definitely one of the best with that. It has trail systems all over the place in town that lead outside of town. There's, mountains right by you. It's really a great place if you like anything outdoors. So that's kind of why I picked that over the other school in the state. I just really like this place for that
So you're a junior this year, kind of nearing graduation. What do you hope to do once you leave Montana State?
I'm hoping to try to teach high school science of some sort. I really like things like anatomy and physiology. So if I could do that, that would be, I guess, the top goal. And then also, I would definitely enjoy coaching in the future. That is definitely something I see myself doing at the high school level, of course.
So we noticed you have a killer mustache. When did you start growing it?
I started growing it over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of do it as like a yearly thing at least once. I think my freshman year I did it a little bit during track, and then the last couple of years I've done it every year in cross country. It's kind of a pretty big tradition of like stashies for nashies and stuff like that you see amongst a lot of teams doing that sort of stuff. Either growing mustaches, growing mullets, just looking greasy for cross country is kind of a pretty big thing for across most teams in the nation, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like it's bringing you some good luck.
Yeah.
Well, Collin, we appreciate you joining us on the show today. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you.
That's Montana State junior Collin Buck. The Big Sky Cross Country Championships are set for Saturday, November 2nd at the Boomerang Links in Greeley, Colorado, hosted by Northern Colorado. The women's race is set to begin the day at 10 a.m., followed by the men's race at 11.
That's a wrap on this week's show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week to talk more Big Sky sports. Until then, I'm Karl Hunt.
And I'm Blake Barington.
On Around the Big Sky.